let's start off with the role of social media advertising. Why should we have a social media advertising budget, and how will that benefit our business? Well, when we're thinking about our social media approach, what we really want to do is to bring consumers through this funnel. And this is the race funnel, as it's referred to, excuse me, or the PRACE funnel, because obviously our first step is planning. So from a strategic point of view, it's important that you are, first of all, planning your strategy and thinking about how you're going to achieve your goals. But the first step then in terms of taking action is trying to reach people and tell them about your products and your services. So people can't take action in terms of your business if they don't know about you, if they don't know that you exist, or they don't know what you provide. So reach is really important, especially for new organizations. It's really important to get the news out there about new products and services, maybe about a new offering, or if you're moving location. And we can absolutely do this through social media advertising. So when people are aware of you, then they're more likely to act and to complete a desired step within your funnel. So acting could be visiting your website. It could be filling in a form. It could be following you on social media. It might be signing up to your email marketing strategy. And this funnel will look slightly different in terms of what each of the stages means for different businesses. So ACT is really important because this is where you're able to get more data on your consumers. You're able to gather information about them. You're able to learn more about them. And then through social media advertising, you can encourage that interaction. So let's just say that you wanted to grow your email marketing list. You could create a social media ad, run that across Facebook and Instagram, and encourage people to sign up for email marketing, giving them some kind of incentive to do that. So we know ourselves that whenever we go through whenever we get the message, like, go sign up for email marketing, subconsciously we hesitate, like, how often are these people going to email me? Is this going to clog up my inbox? What's in it for me? And we run through that at a subconscious level. Whereas if we make it really clear for that person seeing the message, what's in it for them, like first look at products and discounts, flash sales for email members only, or a special like range that they can access themselves before anyone else. There's clear value there in terms of why they should sign up. But social media advertising can help you run campaigns and show these ads to more of the kinds of people that you want, instead of just throwing it out there and hoping that you get some subscriptions from an ideal audience. Conversion is then our next step. And this is probably when people realize that they need social media ads as part of their strategy. So convert is whenever you're really just getting to that purchase stage or that strong conversion stage if it is a service that you provide. So here, obviously, the goal is to encourage your website visitors to convert, add the product to the cart, check out. If it's not a product focused site, this step might be encouraging people to sign up for a membership, encouraging them to sign up for a course, encouraging them to make some kind of commitment. So as I mentioned, these steps will vary in terms of what they mean for different kinds of businesses. But at this point, this is where we can typically see revenue coming into the business. And this is often when people approach me and say, we're not getting enough conversions, we're not getting enough sales, we need social media ads. And that is absolutely fine. We can do that. But we need to be mindful that people need to know who you are and understand why they should interact with you before they're ready to convert. So we're going to look at all stages of that funnel today. After the conversion, you want to try and encourage repeat purchase. So the engage step is really important, that you are trying to get repeat purchases from customers if possible. And if it's not really a transaction that they would convert on again, there's still that opportunity to encourage them to become brand advocates. So things like leaving social media reviews and providing testimonials, sharing your products and services online, and recommending your business, they're really, really important steps that consumers can take. And of course, we can encourage that through advertising. So from a strategic point of view, we want to bring consumers the whole way through this funnel. Ads can help at every single stage, depending on whether you want to reach new consumers or potential consumers, if you want to convert those who have looked at your site but haven't yet purchased, or if you want to build some loyalty and re-engage or continue to engage with people who have already transacted with you. So from a strategic point of view, social media ads fit into every step of the funnel, but it's important for us to understand what that potential is in terms of that social media audience. So I wanted to just show you here a snapshot from the very start of this year, and it's looking at the social media use across the UK. So I know some of you may be targeting other audiences, so you might be looking into European countries as well. But there's a really sizable audience because 53 million people are using social media actively. And by actively, it's logging in at least once a month throughout the UK. Now, understandably, you probably couldn't deal with all 53 million people signing up for your product or service at once. There is a smaller subset within that 53 million that will be your target audience. So the goal with advertising is just to really get in front of the people that are the most relevant to your business. Now, the other exciting thing for not just social media ads, but digital marketing in general and social media in general is this rate of growth. So because of the turbulent year that's just been, there have been many challenges. But some of the advantages that have actually come from that is people have relied on social media and the number of social media users has increased as a result. So it makes sense because we weren't able to see family and friends in person. We then connected with them online. Of course, we have all of our online research and shopping and so on that has had an impact. Now, there's one other thing I just want to point out from this snapshot, and it's the percentage of social media users accessing the platforms in a mobile device. So that's 97.5%. So what we're going to do is assume that everyone, I'm just going to say everyone because that minor percentage really is so small, everyone seeing your social media ads will be on a mobile phone. So that often leads to other considerations like, does my website load quickly? Is my website accessible on a mobile device? What does that customer journey look like on a mobile phone? And these are questions you definitely need to be asking yourself and answering when you're planning a social media campaign. Okay, so in terms of the audiences that you could reach via social media, I hope you'll agree it's fairly widespread. There are quite a lot of misconceptions, I'll say, for want of a better word, that social media advertising is only to reach young people like 16 to 18-year-olds, and that's certainly not the case. Now, this is the advertising audience profile for the whole of the UK, and it's across all social media channels. And we can see that there's quite a large group there, 25 to 34-year-olds who are using social media, and that's a generational type thing. So thankfully, I still fall into that category, but not for too long. But this is really where we've grown up with social media, and it really just exploded during our younger years. So we're really au fait with that. But equally, if you wanted to reach people who were, say, 55 to 64 years of age, they are on social media. So yes, they don't account for 100% of social media users, but you can still reach lots of audiences who are outside that 25 to 34-year-old age bracket. Okay, so looking at the most popular platforms, we're talking a lot today about Facebook and Instagram. And the reason for that is if we're looking at the most used social media platforms in the UK, Facebook's number 2 and Instagram is coming in there at number 5. Now, YouTube actually is more popular now than Facebook, but on a global scale, Facebook is actually more popular than YouTube. Some people don't technically categorize YouTube as social media. They count it more as search. And I'd be inclined to do that because, you know, we're searching for quite a few things on YouTube, particularly over the last year. How to make banana bread being one of the most popular searches that we've seen. But it's important that you are using the platforms where you can reach the most amount of people. Now, on Facebook, we can run ads, obviously. Facebook Messenger is included within those placements. And then Instagram, we're going to focus on as well today. So they're in the top 5 in terms of your social media platforms. So it's good to invest in the platforms that do allow you to reach a lot of people, because remember, when you are putting money into advertising, you want to make sure that you're getting the best possible results from that. Okay, so just a little snapshot for interest, probably more than anything. This is our evolution of daily time spent using social media. Some of you might be a bit shocked at this, more so than impressed, myself included. But if we look at how it's evolved from 2015, where our usage was just shy of 2 hours, and we look now at 2020, where it's nearly 2.5 hours. For us, from a personal point of view, it's probably not a great thing. Well, it depends how we're using that time. I know I often find myself scrolling through social media, just consuming content that's interesting or engaging, and then thinking, Emma, you have a million things to do. Leave that be and come back to it. So it is, in that sense, really attractive and easy to use. But let's step into the advertiser shoes for a minute. As an advertiser, this is a really big opportunity because people are spending nearly 2.5 hours every day on social media. So that gives you lots of different opportunities to engage with them, lots of different opportunities for you to get your message in front of their eyes. So from the point of view of an advertiser, this is a positive metric. Let's focus a wee bit more on the platforms that we will be looking at today, starting with Facebook. So Facebook has got 30 million users in the UK. And again, you don't need to reach every single one of these users for your business. Now, the growth has actually just remain unchanged there. If we're looking at quarter on quarter, that's not anything to be worried about because there was like a 10% growth, if not more, throughout 2020. So a lot of people who were not using Facebook and who wanted to use it were then able to flock to the platform. And the other thing here that we can see is there's a relatively even gender breakdown. So 52% female and 47% male. So it's not the case that we would say, oh, well, only use Facebook if you want to reach females, or only use this channel if you want to reach that gender. There's a relatively even split. Instagram then, by comparison, the number of users on Instagram is not far away from that of Facebook here in the UK. So 31 million Instagram users. So it's a really, really popular platform. So hence why you should be investing in that. And the growth is still happening, I should say, rapidly for Instagram in the UK. So quarter on quarter change, there's been a 10% increase in Instagram users, and that equates to 3 million people. So that's really impressive that it's continuing to grow at such a rate. Now, there is a slight female bias here. 58% of the users in the UK are female and 41% male. So it's almost like a 60-40. So typically we would say that the Instagram content that we would create for brands is slightly more female focused, but it comes down to what that brand is and what that organization is. So again, I would be very hesitant to generalize and say Instagram's just for women, etc. There's still obviously a lot of men using it, but it's down to your target audience and who you want to get in front of. LinkedIn we focused on last week, but if you weren't in that webinar, just a bit of a snapshot, because I will talk to you about the LinkedIn advertising platform. This isn't far away from Facebook and Instagram here in the UK. There are 30 million LinkedIn users. The growth hasn't been as phenomenal as Instagram, but it's still good, 3.4% growth quarter on quarter. And here it's a little bit different to what we saw on Instagram. There is a slight male bias with 57% of the users being male and 42.9% being female. So it's good that we're able to use all of these platforms to reach people of both genders, and also we can see that age breakdown. But I know today you want to figure out how you do the advertising, where you go to, what you click, how to set up your audiences. So that's what I'm going to move into next.